Since we're in for a sell, right? Since the exits are below, we want the R side to be in the top half. If we're going in for a buy, so the exits are above the entry, we want it to be in the bottom half. Okay? Go ahead and drop a 2 if you understand that so far, especially if you're new. You want to write this down. 1, it's at entry. 2, the RSI is corresponding to whatever it is that you want to do. So in this particular case, is it a good time to go in for this sell with my strategy? Would it be a good time to go in for a sell with this particular strategy? Or should I even look into the next part? No, definitely not. And why is that? Why should I not look even like why am I not even bothering with looking any further on this particular time frame anyway? I can still look at the other time frames, obviously. Support, yes, the support line is there. That is another one. Yep. That is like an extra one as to why I don't want to take this trade. Past entry. Yep. And RSI is in the right spot. Exactly. So there's all those are all good reasons. You have the support line here, this resistance line. In this case, it would be honestly still a support line. I'd still call that a support line. But anyway, you have this here. The RSI is not lining up and it's already a little past entry. So it could potentially go all the way up to about here, I'd say. Then the RSI might line up and it might go back down. But as of right now, we're not even paying attention to it. So I'm just gonna move on. And I'm just gonna click through all the different time frames. What time frames is the best to use on trend wave? Me personally, I like 5, 15 minute, 30 minute. That's just preference. You can use it honestly for anything, but the higher the time frame, the more things have to be true. So I would just recommend staying at 1 hour and below, honestly. But you can use it for any, like trend wave and kill shot work for all of them. The strategy that I'm teaching you guys though does rely not rely, but it just works better in the 1 hour, 30 minute, 15 and 5 minute. Okay. So I didn't see anything in Bitcoin, so we're gonna keep going. And then once we have these first two checkpoints or checked off, whatever, we're gonna look onto the third one because again, there's three that we're looking for, but right now we're just looking for the first two. Because why even look at the third one if the first two aren't even lining up? Like that makes no sense, you know? But this is the boring part right here. This is where I go through. Once again, if you know about my strategy, you know how I operate and you see something, please let me know if you can find anything to help with this. Okay. My phone is going off. Yeah, that would have been a good trade to take right about here. But it did hit invalidation, so I guess not. 5 minute. So the 1 hour did look a little juicy for later, not right now. But a loss is not applying or not aligning with our strategy, so we're moving on. And Trendwave is really, really good if you're completely new and you've never like looked at the charts before, you've never even known how to trade, like you don't know what it is you're looking for. If if the charts looks like Chinese to you, Trendwave is perfect because it does all of the work for you. All of the work. And with the strategy that I'm teaching you guys, it also takes all of the human emotion out as well. Because if those three things are not lining up, you are not taking that trade. As simple as that, right? So it doesn't matter how you feel. It doesn't matter if it's moving crazy and it starts moving in a certain direction that you want it to move. It doesn't matter. If all three things are not lining up, you're not taking a trade. And that really does help with human emotion because one of the biggest reasons a lot of people fail at trading is because they can't control themselves. They don't have patience. They see things that aren't there, or they see things because they want to see it, because they want to make the money so quickly that they don't have the patience to just wait it out. And trend wave is what's going to teach you all about that. And if you guys have any questions, please let me know. We're gonna go through the New York session ones first, and then we're gonna go over to all the other currencies. Since it is Tuesday, it is a perfect time to trade everything. Mm, I'm not liking those support lines. It could shoot through it, but I'm not liking it. No. If you can't find a good trade, how long would you wait before looking for another? You can literally sit here every 15 minutes. Honestly, 30, 15, maybe an hour. Now, I wouldn't sit here. I wouldn't actually recommend doing that. I'd say like every hour, just check it real quick because it really doesn't take you long to go through it like this. So, okay. So if XAU, I think I already checked that. That was CAD, okay. I think I already checked it. Um, it would be fine if it wasn't so low. It might come back and retest right here and then keep going down. But as of right now, we're not taking it. That's too low. That's too low. And that's too low. So no, none of these are good. And then Euro, GBP. Oopsie daisy. Would you ever get into a trade if it's only reached TP1 and not the other ones yet? Unless there's a reversal? No. Euro, GBP at 5 minute. Nope. And the reason being, there's multiple reasons. One is that this is in the middle here, like we want it all the way at the floor. And then two, there's a bunch of yellow lines. And for you beginners, what these yellow lines mean, right, is that it has a hard time going past that area. So if you're wanting to go in for a buy, right, you want the market to go up, and the yellow line is showing above it saying, hey, it has a hard time going above this. You wouldn't want to take this trade. Those yellow lines aren't necessarily like a brick wall. It doesn't mean that it can't shoot right past it. We've had some trades that did exactly that. But the thing with this strategy and how I want to teach you, especially you beginners, right, is that you want to take the best possible trade. And the best possible trade doesn't want any type of resistance or any type of has a hard time going past. You know what I'm saying? So if I see those yellow lines, when especially if I'm gonna call with you guys, I'm just not gonna look at it. Like I want it to be a better trade, you know? GBP USD. Am I blind? Oh, there it is. Okay. Go and drop a two if you understand those yellow lines. All right, it's at entry, but the R size in the bottom half. Now, what I am seeing right offhand, and you can see my favorite thing right here is this yellow line. Is that what I'm expecting? Since there's this huge movement, right? The fair value, yeah, exactly. The fair value gap just happened here. And what a fair value gap is a huge movement with no, like, everything has to touch, basically, you know? If I zoom into all of this right here, all of this area, you can see that everything touches, right? It touches, 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 touches. And even here, like, there's a huge movement, and then it came back down, touched it, and then went up, right? You can see it all over how it's constantly touching. They're always touching in some way. However, on this one, right, you have to look at the previous candle, which would be right here, right? So if you line it up with the cursor, and then it's all the way down here, like all of this right here. Let me grab my brush. I gotta move you guys in a second. All of the movement from here all the way down here. Oh, wow, that didn't work out at all. What was that? Okay, there we go. That's weird. Anyway, you can see all of this right here. Oops, a daisy. This, not this. Let's go ahead and delete that. But all of this right here, right? All the way down to the yellow, or not the yellow, sorry, the blue line. This is a fair value gap, and this has to be balanced out. Some people call it an imbalance. Some people call liquidity. Like it's whatever you were taught. It's all the same thing, right? And basically, it has to come back up and touch this. So with the RSI being at the bottom, it's almost at the bottom. Once again, if it hits the bottom, what has to happen? Not has to happen, but what is more likely to happen? What can we expect if the RSI is in the bottom half? I'm gonna keep this right there. Boom. To bounce back up. Exactly. So if you put two and two together here, right, we have the fair value gap. It has to come back up to fill this gap. And we also have a BART right here. Remember that I love seeing these yellow lines up here, right? It broke past it. It has to come back and retest it, break and retest BART, right? So since the RSI is in the bottom half, we can expect it to go up. What are we expecting to happen within probably the next hour or two? This is more advanced. If you're new and you're like, what the hell are you talking about? Don't worry. You're okay. This is for my more advanced people here. Yep, not necessarily that we're gonna buy, not that. However, we're expecting it to come back up to at least here. The RSI is most likely gonna end up like it's gonna be down here. It's gonna come back out to fill this imbalance. It's gonna come back out to retest, and this RSI is most likely gonna end up here, and then we can sell. Okay? I know it was a lot. If you're confused, don't worry. Watch the beginner module. You'll learn all about it. But anyway, this is not a good trade to take. Thank you though for trying. We're gonna continue on. I think I was at CAD JPY most likely. I think. But yeah, all good tries though. Definitely. They're all at entry, but you have to pay attention to the RSI. And that the reason why is what I just explained. Because if the RSI, whoops, that is not, there we go. If the RSI is in the bottom half, but we're wanting to go in for a sell, like why would we put ourselves in a negative for no reason? Like, why not just take a better trade? Why not just take a better entry, you know? Go ahead and drop a 1 1 1 1 if you understand what I was talking about. And if you can kind of put together why you don't want to take a trade if the RSI is not lining up. Like now you know why I tell you to wait for the RSI or why I'm stressing the RSI so much. Same thing here. You got that BART. We got a huge candle here. The RSI is in the bottom. Most likely it's going to come up and then we can sell later. But once again, we can't sell until the RSI is lining up, which most likely will happen here. But we don't know. Whoops. GBP CAD. 30, 15, 5. It's all about patience, guys. And the reason I teach you guys this strategy and how to have this much patience is because you just need a singular trade to make your entire week. There's no reason to take 50,000 trades just because they're good enough and like risk your money like that. Like it's just not it's not smart and that's not what we do. You can take one single trade and make your entire week's goal. You know what I'm saying? And there you go. Look at that again. So it was that entry right here, right? It was that entry. You have the yellow line saying, hey, has a hard time going above. The RSI was in the top half. And what happens if in the top half, we're expecting to go down? It started going down. Boom, we hit invalidation. Right here. Look at that. Bam, has a hard time. Oh, we need to go down because the RSI is in the top half. You see, like, there's perfect representation right here as to just because it's that entry. It was that entry right here, but now we're at stop loss. 30-minute, 15-minute, 5-minute, and then someone said UJ. 30-minute, 15 minutes, 5-minute. Nope. 30-minute. Oh, that got me. Once again, huge imbalance. RSI's in the top. Most likely will come back down for this BART. There's a BART right here once again. Come down. RSI will most likely be at the bottom. It'll keep going up. Like, this is what you start seeing once you understand how to read the charts. Um, is you'll start seeing. Now, I hope that USD CAD is good. Okay. That's what I thought. That's what I thought. Okay. Nope. Nope. All right, cool. So now we're gonna go through the outside of I don't want to look at AUD. So now we're gonna look at all the other sessions. So we just focused on the New York session ones, and now we're gonna go through everything else to see if we find anything. You do want to try and stay within um within the session that you're trading, right? So Sydney, London, um, Tokyo, and New York session, but you can trade outside of them. Not liking it. Aussies be lurking. Yeah, they always asleep, man. I'm telling you. Anything that starts with AUD, no go. No go. Look at that. It shot up once it hit that yellow. Like, pff, nah, we can't go past that. So slow, I know, right? Oh, this can be another potential good trade here because we have that Bart right here. Entry RSI is heading to the top, so this could be a potential good trade for later. And we just keep going. Oh, Euro car, we already looked at that. Oh well, let's look at it again. Do, 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 do. All right. Well, if anyone has any questions, because this is the boring part, as I say, right? Where we just keep pushing through to see potentially. Nope. And this is really simple. Like I said, this doesn't take long at all, especially if you have a certain currency that you like to stick to. I actually like to stick to Bitcoin, Ethereum, NAS 100, US 30. I think I just totally skipped past this. Yeah, US 30, NAS 100, gold and silver. Those are usually the ones I cycle through. But if you really wanted to cycle through all, you 100% can do that with this strategy. You don't have to sit with anything. It's just that me personally, I understand how those work. I understand how those what's it called? What does the blood drop symbol mean? Blood on the floor, it's gonna go down. You're gonna go down because you're bleeding on the dance floor. The RSI is dang near at the top or bottom, but not exactly touching the bottom or top. Does that count as being the right area? Yeah, it does. So, oh, I'll give you a little. So it doesn't have to actually touch the very bottom. Whoops, wrong one. Right? So for example, here, I made it too big, right? So what you're looking for is for it to cross, right? It has to be a very distinct cross. So it can't be like this right here. It's kind of like indifferent, not indifferent, indecisive, right? Or even right here, it's kind of like indecisive. It has to be a very strong cross, like here. And sometimes that does happen, like right here. This is a perfect example. It never actually touched the floor, but there was a very distinct phew cross, right? And if we go up here, let's see what happened up here. Right, so that was right here. Not very distinct. A little bit, but not really distinct, you know what I'm saying? Or right over here, once again, I wouldn't like this personally, but it still happened, right? And then it went up again. All right, let's find some more examples. Um, nope, not a good example. Right here. Once again, right here, never touched the bottom, but it crossed and view went up. Now, once again, my strategy is about getting the best possible trade. So if it's crossing in the middle, that's not necessarily a best possible trade. Can it go up from there? Absolutely. Can it shoot up from there? Absolutely. Anything can happen, but like you don't need to have FOMO. You don't need to have fear of missing out. Just let it go, you know? Does the rate at which the RSI move have anything? No. No, it does not. It's just reacting. So it's actually a little bit late, to be honest. Once people are kind of like, for example, when it crosses, it's people are already like, let's say it's at the bottom here, and it just crossed to go up. People are already buying. So it's kind of a late indicator when it comes to the cross itself on its own. It's a late indicator. It's more of a, hey, everyone's buying. Hey, we're starting to be oversold. Hey, we're overbought. You might want to start going, you know what I'm saying? So it's not a good indicator on its own. It's only a good indicator for this particular strategy. Or to be aware that it's overbought or oversold and that it's most likely or it not most likely. Like that's not the word you can use because again, it's not a predictor. It doesn't predict the future. It just means that when things are really cheap, people are going to buy. And if things are really expensive, they're going to sell, and that's what it does for you. This is another good potential sell here. It's most likely going to come up to here. You can see that very strong. RSI is going to be up here. Let's see what kill shot looks like real quick. Yep. Look at that. Yeah, most likely once it hits the RSI at the top and it's feeling that imbalance, this is all going to turn red again. So what is this, 15-minute? Yeah, it's doing a BART. If I go up to the higher time frames, there it is. There's the break, and here's the retest happening right now. There's the break, boop, and the retest is happening right now. It's gonna hit about right here, and then most likely keep going down. Blood on a dance floor too. Yeah, this is a good trade for later. Yeah. I already looked at that. Oh well. I already looked at Bitcoin and Ethereum, right? Yeah, that's the first thing I look at. Oh, okay. So this is what I look for right here. It's that entry. Oh, there's a yellow line. And there's a rejection candle too, so never mind. Anyway, so it's at entry. The RSI is at the bottom. The RSI crossed. And then I come over the kill shot. And I'm expecting it to be all blue. Now, okay. When it comes to this strategy, is this a good trade to take? Yes. Absolutely. Everything is lining up. However, when it comes to me and how I teach you guys, right? What do we have? Whoops, a daisy. What do we have going on right there? Can it shoot past it? Absolutely, you can shoot past it. If you want to take the trade, go right ahead, I guess, but I'm not calling it because of this yellow line right here. Can you show and explain the rejection candle? Yeah, of course. So rejection candle, you see this huge wick right here, this thin line right here, right? So when all the way up here and then it shot back down. Like, nah, get back down there. It's kind of like, I don't know. You stuff something into a hat and it wants to come out and you stuff it back. I guess, you know what I'm saying? It's like, no, get back in there, get back here. That's kind of what I look at it, how I see it. It tried to come all the way up here and then it was stuffed back. It tried to come out and was stuffed back. Yeah, let's find some more. Let's find a more distinct one. So you can Google rejection candles. There's like the morning star, the evening star, the graveyard, the doji, this was another one right here. There's so many different ones. I have like a poster of all of these on my wall. So whenever I see one, I'm like, huh, I turn around and I look at it, I'm like, ah, yeah, that's one. That's a rejection candle too, right there. That's a rejection candle there as well. That is a rejection candle there as well. You know what I'm saying? So it's definitely something that you have to look up yourself. But yeah, it might go past. Oh well, we missed it because of that yellow line there. Oh well, on to the next. And just so you understand what rejection candles are, I showed them to you, but what rejection candles are, um, okay, I need to explain areas real quick. Give me a second. Okay. Okay. So let's let's use this yellow line that's right here, okay? So we're talking about this area and we're talking about this area, okay? So, as you can see in the first area, right? There's a lot of respect You see that? Like it's not going past a certain area. Like I could actually draw a line right about here, and you can see that there's a lot of respect. It hits it, goes down, hits it, goes down, hits it, tries to go above it, goes back down, goes above it a little bit, goes down. Like there's a lot of respect. It can't go past the area. And that's also what the yellow line represents at the same time, right? But if you're looking on trading on your own, you don't get these yellow lines. The AI gives you the yellow lines, right? Now, the rejection candle basically says, I reject this area. So this whole box, the rejection candle would tell you, I don't want to go above this area. I'm wanting to go back down. I can't go above, so I want to go back down. And that's what a rejection candle would tell you because it can be stuck here forever and then break above it. You know what I'm saying? But it will only break above it if there's no rejection candle. Now, if there's a rejection candle, which again, you just got to Google them. There's so many of them, right? There's so many of them you got to learn. This is something that you're going to have to sit down and learn. You're going to look for what was I talking about? If there was a rejection candle, you can expect it to not go above the area, right? And then the same thing happens when you do a retest. So over here, it did actually break above it, right? So it did go above it, and then it came back down to test it. The BART, right? Break and retest. Anytime it breaks a certain respect area, it has to come back down to make sure that it's stable. You can look at that as going up the stairs. When you're going up a flight of stairs, you're not just going to put your foot at the very top, right? You can't just expect the market to keep going up and up and up and up unless there's some type of major event like news or something, right? But even then, it has to come back down to test that step. So when you're taking that first step on the flight of stairs, again, you're not going to put it all the way up. You're going to put your foot down on the first step and you're going to make sure that that step is stable for you to step up and put your full weight on the step, right? So that's exactly what the break and retest or the BART is. It's breaking, coming back down. Am I safe to step on a step? Yes, I am. Keeps going up. And the same thing with rejection candles. If it's doing the BART, right? Sometimes when it does the BART, it will go all the way back down. It's like, oh shoot, like it wasn't stable. We fell through the wall. I mean, we fell through the floor. We're falling down, we're getting hurt, right? But if it comes back down and there's a rejection candle, guess what? It's rejecting the area. It's like, hey, I want to go back up. So it then comes down, rejects, and keeps going up. So that's another way that you can use the rejection candle. Go ahead and drop a 3 for if you understand what I just talked about there. I know that is more advanced. This has nothing to do with the trend wave itself. Absolutely nothing to do with it. However, if you're wanting to learn how to trade for yourself, these are the things that you need to start looking at. And that is why I love trend wave so much because it like does it for you. Like, look, this yellow line here, this rejection area, the respect area, and the retest, this yellow line represents, and the AI did it all for you. So if you don't find a trade, like right now, we're not finding a trade right now. I think we did maybe miss out on the one I was looking at earlier. Just start looking at the charts. Start looking at why is this yellow line here? Oh, this yellow line is here because it is consolidation. Why is it consolidating here? Oh, because it's respecting the area. Why is it respecting the area? Oh, because it can't go past it. Why did it come back to this yellow area? Oh, because there was a rejection over here and we passed it and now we have to test our step. There you go. You just learned how to trade. BART. BART is a very strong strategy to trade. The break and retest or the fair value gap retest. That's actually my strategy when it comes to trading NAS 100. That's all I do with NAS 100, right? And NAS 100 is hard for beginners anyway. And that's literally all I do. And there you go. Congratulations. You just learned my strategy. You know what I'm saying? And again, Trendwave did it all for you. It's all laid out right here. All these different symbols, all these different everything that you see here is exactly what I just explained. But you need to actually hop on the charts. You actually need to take the time to look at this stuff and be like, why is that yellow line there? Why did it decide to buy here? Even the exits. I'm gonna go even further into this. Like I love this. I love this AI so much. Like even these exits, they're lined up perfectly to different rejections. So usually you want to put exits at the previous areas of like the previous high or the previous low or whatever. So you can see exit 1. Where is it? Boom, perfect at the previous high. Like, you know what I'm saying? This AI is so good. Anyway, moving on. I hope I didn't overwhelm you guys with all of that. That was a lot of information. I love talking about trading. Trading is one of my favorite things to talk about, and I will talk your ear off once I get started. I just keep talking. So we're gonna keep pushing through to see if we can find anything for you guys for today. What do diamonds mean? Strong movement and most likely up movement. But those symbols, they don't really I don't really go off of the symbols, to be honest. Because as you can see, like right here, right? It said, hey, it's gonna go up, but it didn't really go up. Or right here, the blood on the dance floor said, hey, we're going down, but it didn't really go down, it kept going up. Like this is not something you can really rely on. It just means that it's gonna be a big push. I mean, this red candle here, I mean, kinda is a big push, but not really. You know what I'm saying? So it's not something you can rely on. However, if you have all three of your confirmations and you get a diamond and you get a blood on the dance floor, then it's just kind of an extra confirmation. But it's not something that I honestly look too much at personally. I think I already looked at that. But yeah, that is that. Man, it's just not wanting to show us anything today. I swear, anytime I hop on these calls for you guys, I'm like, dang, I can't find anything. And then literally 10 minutes later, I find a trade. It's it just doesn't, it doesn't want us to see anything happening live, you know? But this, like I said, this is all I do. This is all you need to do. I'm gonna go through one more time through my favorite ones because those usually they like change really quickly. Go and drop a fire if you feel like you're learning something today because today was well, there was a lot of information there. A lot of every so the diamond always relating to the trend direction. I know you said it usually means up. Yeah. Yeah, it does. But like I wouldn't like you're focusing on the wrong thing, honestly. I wouldn't focus on the diamond and I wouldn't focus on any of those symbols. Um because then if you're focusing on those, then you need to have a different strategy with trend wave. When it comes to what I'm teaching, those symbols they just don't matter. This can come back down and go back up. This can go back down. So nothing there. Come on, NAS 100. I know you. NAS 100 was setting something up. I forgot what. I need to get back onto NAS. I've been neglecting my poor baby. I trade market open with it usually, so when I'm on these calls, I just forget. I catch 100 pips and I'm out. Potentially. I just don't like the indecisiveness of this. So this here, I find ugly. I find this like a really ugly RSI. You see how it's kind of like weaving, it's looking like a braid? I don't like that. To me, it just looks indecisive. It looks, I don't know what I want to do. And if I'm taking a trade, I want the trade to know what it's doing. You know what I'm saying? But let's look at kill shot. Yeah, and that's why it's indecisive right there. Boom. Okay. Well, I like being very what's it called? I like when trend wave makes me feel validated. Oh wait. Okay, never mind. Okay. Man, I wish. See, the only thing with teaching you guys trend wave is that I have like if I'm gonna teach you guys a strategy, I have to stick to the strategy. I can't just veer off from it. So that's the only thing about it. Because you can still find trades with a different strategy, but this strategy has done me so well that especially for you beginners, like why would I try and complicate you guys learning how to use the trend wave? Like that just doesn't make sense. Trend wave trainings are more for the beginners than they are for people who actually know how to trade. Ooh, I'm liking this. Look at that. It's most likely going to come back up and then back down. However, this trade's already over with. Overall, however, I'm still seeing a BART for later. But you can see this is actually a beautiful trade here, once again. See, once here, it did not touch the very top. However, it crossed right here, which would have been about right here, which would have been at entry. So we have the entry, we have the cross. Most likely, the kill shot was all red. Most likely, right now, it is not all red since it's going back up. But additionally, you also have this red triangle, which indicates a sell. You have the blood on the floor, which is like what, your fifth confirmation now. And you have a sixth confirmation of this yellow line above the entry. You have six confirmations right here, and that's why I hit all five TPs. So this is another beautiful trade that we just happened to miss by like probably, I don't know, an hour right here. There you go. If you want to know what it is I look for, this is it right here. It crossed right here, which was that entry. We have the yellow line above the entry, meaning, hey, it's having a hard time going above. And since we're going down for a sell, we wanted to have a hard time going above. So this is perfect. This is a fourth confirmation, fifth confirmation with the blood on the dance floor, sixth confirmation with this call out right here. Does that make sense? How many? We have so many confirmations here saying, hey, yeah, go ahead and go in for the sell. And had you caught this sell, however long ago this was, you would have hit all five TPs right here. And this is how you use the trend wave and the kill shot. The kill shot is very important. So all six of these, just to kind of show you guys, the first six have to be red, right? And there you go. It's still red. But yeah, so what you're doing with the kill shot, because I didn't really go over the kill shot too much, is that these first six ones right here have to be red or blue. If you're going in for a sell, they have to be all red. If you're going in for a buy, they have to be all blue. Now, you don't care about these other three over here. However, if they're also the same color as the first six, it's an even stronger confirmation to go in for whatever it is, right? But the thing is, you don't look at kill shot until you have the entry or the market being at entry and you have the RSI lined up, because no matter what it says right here, if you're not at entry and the RSI is not lining up, you're not taking that trade. I don't care. That's why you're just not even going to look at the kill shot unless those other two are correct. Go ahead and drop a 1 if you're new and you understand the three things that you have to look for. All right, the three things you have to look for. We're gonna go over it again here. I think it was at 5 minute, right? Right. Number one, it's at entry up here, all the way up here, right? Obviously, we have to go back in time. It's at entry. Number two, the RSI has to line up with the opposite of what we're going in for. So if we're going in for a sell, it has to be at the top because we're wanting to go down. If we're going in for a buy, it has to be at the bottom because we're wanting to go up. That's one. That's two. And then kill shot aligning with, so if we're going in for a sell, it has to be all red. So all red, right? And if we're going in for a buy, we're wanting to go up, it has to be all blue. Those are your three main confirmations. Everything else is just extra. It's just like, hey girl, like let's get in the car, let's go shopping. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just extra confirmation. It's like, okay, girl, like we're going right now. Like get in the car. You know what I'm saying? Like let's go. We're going shopping right now. That's all these three are telling me, is that, hey, you really want to go in for this sell. Okay? But I did see a few that could potentially go in our direction, right? So I'm gonna look at those, but as of right now, I couldn't find anything for you guys today. But like I said, these calls are more for you guys to learn more about how to use the trend wave. The trend wave is for you to use on your own, for you to sit down whenever you have time, 30 minutes before you go to bed, 30 minutes after you wake up. 30 minutes in your lunch break is when you can look at trend wave and do this on your own. That's what these calls are for, okay? So I hope that you guys learned something. I hope that you guys understand how to use TrendWave properly, that you learned something more about why TrendWave calls the things that it does, and that you can start utilizing TrendWave to basically teach you how to trade on your own. And don't forget that we have another call tonight. Make sure that you hop on all of the morning calls and all of the PM trading calls as well, because what I'm teaching you and what I'm trying to show you with TrendWave, they will show you even better because you're not distracted by all the different symbols. They will show you on TrendWave and they will help you so much. So don't forget tonight, 9 p.m. EST to hop on the call as well. And I will see you guys on Thursday. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day.